Hey, what's up y'all? I'm back with another video. Over the years and months of uploading somewhat consistently, I've brushed up on several different open world farming locations for you to make a ton of gold from, in search of both rare and even some not so rare items. In this video, I'm going to be going over several different open world Burning Crusade farms that can help you inch ever so closer to that sweet gold cap that every player wants but few players can get. Between farming primals in Hellfire Peninsula, looking for chests on Azuremyst Isle, and even farming reintroduced items that were lost to the Cataclysm, this is how you can make millions of gold in open world Burning Crusade zones. That being said, let's just get right into the video. The first farm that I wanted to share is actually two farms that are pretty well documented, being the Primal Fire and Primal Shadow farms in Hellfire Peninsula. Now, while the farms are extremely well documented, and since they're pretty solved, I still figured that I would include them, seeing as there's always the off chance that someone isn't going to know about the farming locations. To maximize the amount of primals that you're going to be obtaining while farming in these areas, I would recommend doing it with 2 or 3 more players, since the mobs in both of the areas are on forced respawns, meaning that you could, in theory, never stop farming the mobs for a bottomless pit of Primal Shadow or Primal Fire. Farming the route for Primal Fires for an hour yielded me 8 primals as well as an additional 20,000 gold from other random items that I was able to loot while farming for a pretty alright combined 24,000 gold per hour. Now, while it's pretty sorry, farming the route for the Primal Shadows yielded me 14 primals as well as an additional 34,000 gold from other random items that I was able to loot while farming, for what is a pretty decent 39,000 gold per hour, which isn't half bad. These are what I would consider to be pretty safe and easy beginner farms, since most of the gold that you're going to be making here comes from trade goods, which is pretty much as good as guaranteed gold, especially since the release of the regional auction house for trade goods. If it's one positive to come from the addition of the regional auction house, it's that it's made offloading old world trade goods significantly easier, seeing as people from lower populations like mine now have no issues selling said items. The next farm that I wanted to cover is located here in Terokkar Forest, in the area where you farm reputation for the Shatari Skyguard faction. Now, the main farm here isn't actually going to be for the reputation in order to purchase anything, but is going to be the materials used for gaining reputation, notably the Shadow Dust, as well as the Time Lost Scrolls and Time Lost Offerings. There are 2 different ways that you can farm this. The first way, and the one I would recommend, is to simply farm the materials that one would use in order to expedite the reputation with the faction. Doing this for an hour typically yields me around 1,400 materials as well as 36,800 gold from other items looted while farming, for a pretty solid gold per hour rate of around 141,000 gold per hour. Some of the notable items that I was able to loot include the Cleft Hoof Mace, Demon Hide Spalders, as well as the Bloodscale Sabatons, which all list between 10 and 20,000 gold respectively. The other, more sinister method of farming gold here is to use the Time Lost Offerings to summon Terokkar in order to kill it for the chance of receiving rare transmog pieces, the most notable of which being the 2 epic quality cloaks that drop off the mob, both averaging around 30 to 35,000 gold each across US realms at the time of the video. Like I said, however, I personally wouldn't recommend this unless you're gambling's strongest soldier, but you can do whatever you want. It's your time and money, not mine, so I don't really care how you choose to spend it. The next farm that I wanted to showcase is located here in the Ghostlands. Now, this is actually a farm that I intended on showing in a different video, and still may, but it involves farming a couple of items that had been removed with the Cataclysm revamp of some mobs in questing areas, notably the items that drop off of Dr. Witherlimb. The items that he has a chance to drop includes the Banshee Rod, a wand that lists for an average price of around 10,000 gold across US realms, the Abomination Cleaver, which is currently averaging around the same price as the Banshee Rod across US realms, and the Ghoul Hammer, which currently is listing for between 200,000 and 250,000 gold across US realms. Being a rare spawn, this isn't something that you're going to be able to consistently farm, seeing as he won't have the 100% uptime that the previously mentioned farms will have. But much like Terokkar, if you're looking to gamble your time and energy for the chance at some high ticket items, it's still a farm that I would recommend seeing, as it's pretty easy to do and the potential reward is pretty high. The next farm that I wanted to showcase is here on Azuremyst Isle. Now, much like the Ghostlands farm previously mentioned, this farm is going to involve farming a rare piece of transmog, looted off the Blood Elf Bandit, a stealth mob that spawns in semi-random locations around the island. The bandit mask itself is a common quality, albeit quite rare, cosmetic piece of transmog that looks pretty cool and averages around 30 to 40,000 gold across US realms. Unlike Dr. Witherlimb, the Blood Elf Bandit is farmable, being on a forced respawn timer every time you kill the mob. The most optimal way to farm the Blood Elf Bandit is to simply load up a hunter with stealth mob tracking and run circles around the zone looking for the mob. Doing this for an hour straight yielded me 17 masks for a total of around 550,000 gold per hour. Of course, this number is just for fun, seeing as there is an as good as 0% chance that I'll be able to offload all of my Blood Elf Bandit masks within 24 hours of listing them, and they will definitely just be taking up space in the bank, but it's still fun to do the calculation. Would still recommend the farm for building some inventory though, especially since the item is cosmetic now as opposed to being bound to cloth wearers only. The next farm that I wanted to showcase is located here in Blade's Edge Mountains, where you're going to be farming the Bladespire Ogres outside of Gruul's lair. These mobs are pretty easy to farm, and with pretty quick respawn timers, you're able to continuously farm them until your eyes strain and that carpal tunnel begins to set in. Some of the more notable items that drop from the mobs in the area include the Battle Scythe, a polearm with a scythe appearance that averages between 10 and 20,000 gold across US realms, as well as pieces of the Blood Knight set, a male set that is extremely popular with Night Elf hunters, both male and female. Farming the area for an hour yielded me 947 items for a total gold per hour rate of around 870,000 gold per hour, which is one of the highest gold and looted item value rates I've ever seen while doing an hour-long transmog session, just short of some of my Northwatch Expedition base camp sessions. Much like the previous two farms, it pretty much comes down to luck with this farm, but that's just transmog farming for you. If there's anything that you can learn from farming transmog, it's that you're literally just one mob away from that high ticket item, bro. And that you should just continue to keep farming those random mob items, bro. You were literally just one mob away from that Battle Scythe. One mob away from that Hawk Tua headdress of the Fire Flash, bro. Keep on farming. The last farm that I wanted to showcase as far as farming open world outland areas goes is located here in Shadowmoon Valley, where you're going to be farming the Blood Elf mobs in the area. These mobs are on pretty quick respawn timers, so you shouldn't have any issues getting tons of kills and tons of loot while farming. The most notable items that are going to be dropping from the mobs in the area here are the weapons, some of which, like the crude Umberfen sword, reach all the way up into the 5-digit range, meaning that with a little bit of luck, you're looking to be pulling gold essentially out of thin air while farming here. The mobs here will also have a chance to drop Sun Fury signets, which are used for grinding reputation with the scryers. Farming this area for an hour yielded me 2,430 different items for a total gold per hour rate of around 70,000 gold per hour, which is actually pretty good all things considered. Again, much like some of the previous farms, it's another transmog farm, meaning that you're going to have to get a little lucky to maximize the gold per hour rate from here, but it's all good, cause gambling is good. I love gambling. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. I've been meaning to make this video for probably 2 years now, and I'm finally glad that I was able to put it together. I've got some other awesome content planned, so make sure you subscribe, cause I'm awesome and I deserve it. Like I've been saying in all of my videos recently, my Discord server is officially open, the link of which you can find at the end of a short PowerPoint presentation down in the description below. So feel free to hop in and show off pictures of you killing Drakthir and Volpera, since I love seeing content like that so much. I'd also like to mention that my guild, The Guy, is currently recruiting for high-end PvE content as well as guild activities, and if you'd like to join, feel free to join my Discord or shoot Bonesaw or I a message in game so that we can deliberate on your acceptance. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, peace.